Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by LaCharles Smith of the head football coach at Springfield. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well. So I know games start this week for you guys, of course, on Friday against Maumee. Let's talk about, I know this is your first year with the team. So really kind of go through how you got why did you decide to come to Springfield and really how practice has been going for your team this year?
So one of the reasons why I came to Springfield, I really love the community of Springfield. I always think that if you have a good community, you have great facilities, which Springfield does have. And then I like how diverse the school is too. So those are the three factors that played into why I wanted to come to Springfield. Practices have been going good. We had a great practice today. Practice was full of energy. I think the kids are locked in. Our goal this summer basically was just being 1-0, and we worked really hard this summer of just being that. So now I think leading up to this week, this game Friday, I think our kids are locked in.
Okay, now it's time to talk about some of the guys that are going to be returning for your team this year. Let's go through let's start with the skill positions and go from there.
Okay, skill positions. We have Will Scott. Will Scott's a 3-year starter. He's going to be our quarterback, so that's going to make him a 4-year starter. Will Scott's one of those kids that's just an absolute warrior. He's a great leader, just a hard-working kid, and he wants to win. So he brings it to practice every single day, every single lift. He brings it, and in conditioning, he takes practice very serious. Our skill positions, we're going to be very inexperienced. The one experienced guy that we have coming back is Cam Tall. Cam Tall played a little varsity last year at defensive back and at a little bit of a wide receiver for Springfield last year, but he's basically our only experienced player on the skill wise that's coming back. But we do have some young kids that are working hard that I'm excited to see this Friday. But again, they just got to get that experience in them. Offensive line is probably going to be our strong suit with experience. We have Jaden Welsh. He started last year at left tackle. We moved him to right tackle this year. He's a mountain of a kid. He's 6'6", 270. He's also going to be on the other side of his crew, Ackenberg. Ackenberg is going to be, he's about 6'4", 270. So we'll be leaning on those two big guys with their experience on our offensive line.
All right. Let's go to linebackers and let's go to the defense now, starting with the defensive line, the linebackers in the secondary.
So with the defensive line, we had some guys coming back that has experience for last year, but we, again, a new system. You had to shuffle some guys around. But we have Aiden Smith is one of our defensive linemen that comes back from last year. Isaac Evans is another one of our defensive linemen that has some experience coming back from last year. But we're gonna be strong with our linebacker core. That's basically with Greg Pazinski. He's a junior. He's basically our leader of our defense. And we're going to be leaning for Greg to make some plays for us this year. Our secondary, we're very inexperienced in our secondary. But again, I'm excited about that young talent. Those kids have been working hard. So we're going to be inexperienced. But again, they're talented enough to play on Friday nights, and they'll get that experience soon.
All right. Special teams.
Special teams. That's another thing that we're inexperienced. We'll be bringing in 2 new kickers. So we don't have any varsity experience on our roster with kickers, but we have 2 kickers that I'm very excited. TJ Pappas, he's a soccer player. TJ's been doing great at soccer for Springfield. And we have Logan Goodrich, which is another a kicker of ours. Logan is going to be, he's a true athlete. He also plays tight end for us. He's also one of our defensive ends. So, and he's going to kick for us too. So I'm excited about our young talent that we have at Springfield.
All right. We've talked about the kids. Now let's talk about the schedule. And I don't know if you've been following Ohio high school football in the Toledo area. There's been a big reshuffling.
That's right.
So if just in, what well, why don't you explain? I know this is your first year at Springfield, but you've been in this area for a very long time. So just kind of explain what happened.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, it's a tough conference. Obviously, you have the likes of Whitmer High School, Findlay High School, Clay, and a Fremont Ross coming to the NLL. So I mean, I just was talking to some of the guys and some of the coaches. Like it's going to be a dogfight every single week in this conference. There's not going to be any easy games. I mean, the numbers alone, Whitmer brings 120 kids. Finley's about the same. Clay's probably bringing about 100 kids also.
Yeah.
That's probably the same with Fremont Ross also. So those four schools there are going to be 100 plus kids. We're only at 70 kids right now. That's from 9 through 12. And like I told the kids that we got to be in really good conditioning, and we got to be we just got to stick together. But I mean, we say it's 70 strong, and we're going to play hard.
All right. Well, let's look at the schedule and see what you guys have. Of course, starting off, as we said, this Friday at Maumee, first home game of the year will be against Rogers High School. And then on September 1st, you'll play Start High School. September 8th at Bowling Green. September 15th, home against Napoleon. September 22nd at Findlay. September 29th at Northview. October 6th at Anthony Wayne. October 13th against Perrysburg at home, and then October 20th against Whitmer at home. So for many people that don't know, if you watch this channel, a lot of Michigan, I'm from Michigan. So Ohio has a 10-game schedule instead of a 9-game schedule in Michigan.
Right.
So pretty good schedule as we've said, new teams into the conference. So, but obviously the same teams that Springfield has faced over the years. But what do you think about the schedule so far and really getting that start, getting a good start in those first 3 games? Because I think a lot of teams know what they have in week 3.
Yeah, so I agree with you 1,000%. That first game is going to be a good old rival game with Maumee. Maumee brings in a new head coach also, so I know that community over there has new energy. And same thing with Springfield. We have new energy also. So that's going to be a clash this Friday at Maumee. Rogers, last year they were 2-8. Coach Davis over there at Rogers has those guys playing good football. Their numbers have improved. So, I mean, that's going to be a good test for us. Start high school. Obviously, I was there last year. Left Start to go to Springfield. But Coach Nate James, the new coach, got really good energy in that school, in that community, and in those kids. So I know that that's going to be a dogfight too. And those kids are going to be pumped up, knowing that their former head coach and former assistant coaches are over at the other side. So I know Start's going to be pumped up over there, and that's going to be a good dogfight for us also. And then we start NLL play, and like I said before, that NLL play it's not going to be. I mean, it's not going to be nice. It's going to be a rough. Every single week, it's going to be a dogfight. But that's the reason why I took this job. I mean, I wanted a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to challenge my staff, and I want to challenge these kids that it's going to be a dogfight every single week. We have a nice 10-game schedule. If we come out good, we'll make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. And really, what do you want to really see out of this team as we head in? Because we've been through the scrimmage. You had a couple scrimmages to start the year, but really, what do you really want to see out of this team heading into this first game? Because this is all the stuff that you've been working toward. Was this game 1?
Yeah. So I mean, I've been telling the kids just want to see growth. I've seen that with practices and from our first scrimmage against Southview, we got beat up a little bit with Southview, and they're an experienced team. And we got beat up a little bit, and we came to work that next day, that Saturday. Had a great lift. Kids were dialed in. We had a good practice that Saturday after that first scrimmage, and then that led to Sandusky Perkins, and that's probably going to be a playoff team, Division IV playoff team. And I thought that improvement from that first scrimmage to that second scrimmage, I can see it. And then now leading up to Maumee and just some practicing, like I said, we had a good practice today, and I was very proud of the kids. Leads into our walkthrough tomorrow, and I'm excited to see what we do on Friday.
All right. LaCharles Smith, the head football coach at Springfield High School. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck to you guys this coming season.
Thank you. Anytime. Go Blue Devils.